let us do the electroplating experiment first, and then we'll understand the definition of electroplating. So first of all, in a beaker, what we are taking is a copper sulfate solution. Remember this, copper sulfate solution. Now in the copper sulfate solution, what we'll be putting are two electrodes that are nothing but two copper plates. So these are two copper plates, and this solution was made up of copper sulfate. Now here we have a battery and a switch. We know we have two terminals, positive and negative. Now we switch on the circuit, and we know that electric current will pass through the circuit because this is a conducting solution. Now understand this. This solution is copper sulfate. So the red particles you see, we have considered them to be copper particles, and yellow are sulfate particles. So on the copper plate you can see we have only copper, and the solution is copper sulfate. That means they are right now combined. Just understand this. Now let's see what happens. When electric current passes through it, what happens is the copper sulfate solution dissociates into copper and sulfate. You see, they have dissociated, they have separated. So copper sulfate dissociates into copper and sulfate. Now understand this. The free copper gets drawn to the electrode connected to the negative terminal of the battery and gets deposited on it. So here you can see that the copper has now deposited on the copper plate. Which copper? The free copper from the copper sulfate solution goes to the electrode and it settles over there, it gets deposited on it. Now from the other electrode, or that is a copper plate, an equal amount of copper gets dissolved in the solution. You see, from the other copper plate, that particular copper is replaced, right? So here what we understand is the loss of copper from the solution is restored and the process continues. So here this means that copper gets transferred from one electrode to the other. So it is simple, right? From one electrode to the other. So this process of depositing a layer of any desired metal on another material by means of electricity is called as electroplating.